Hello everyone, I'm Ilva, Tare, non-resident senior fellow with the Europe Center. Today we'll be discussing the simmering tensions and complex security landscape of the Western Balkans. While Bosnia and Herzegovina is a current hotspot, historical issues and alliances cast a long shadow across the entire region. To shed light on these challenges, particularly from a French perspective, I'm joined by Alexandre Vulic, Deputy Director General for Strategic Affairs, International Security and Arms Control at the French Ministry of Europe and Foreign Affairs. Welcome, bienvenue, Monsieur Vulic.
Merci, thanks for having me.
So as I said, while Bosnia and Herzegovina is a current concern, along with the Serbia and Kosovo tensions, what are the broader challenges to a long-lasting peace and stability across the entire Western Balkans region?
Well, thank you. Yes, the Western Balkans, as they refer to usually in the European Union, remain a region of great opportunities, but also, unfortunately, still worries and preoccupations. And you ask about the broader picture. Let me say in the first place that, of course, there are internal aspects that remain important, as it is usually said, security circles, and, for example, the EUFOR mission in Bosnia, the situation is stable but fragile. And considering that it has been already 25 years that the war is over in Bosnia, this per se is an issue to tackle. And of course, we want to continue to use all the means we have, multilaterally, bilaterally, to help Bosnia stabilize itself. You mentioned the other countries in the region, and for sure we have Bosnia and Kosovo, which are, I think, our priorities. Two countries with stability issues, but whom we support to make progress towards international integration as well. And we do take into account the fact that there are a number of issues and challenges that come from time to time from the outside. For example, in the cybersecurity realm, for example, in terms of disinformation and false narratives. If I may, just one more word to say that France has been a very committed and present actor in the region since the wars that took place in the early 90s when Yugoslavia disappeared, and our forces have been very active until 2014 in Bosnia, until 2016 in Kosovo, and I'm happy to say that this has not been abandoned. On the contrary, we are re-putting a number of resources right now. Are planning to do it, and we remain very much engaged at the political level again. To both bilaterally and multilaterally to support the European and Atlantic integration of all that countries.
Since we mentioned Bosnia among the other Western Balkan countries and the security concerns there, how can France contribute to de-escalation efforts? For instance, what is the specific mission of the Strategic Reserve Force, the French battalion that was sent in Sarajevo?
Thanks. Since the Russian all-out invasion in Ukraine, there have been much concern about a return to further stability in the region. Russia being, of course, one of the outside actors which can play a malign role, and therefore, already in 2022, France was present through overflights in Bosnia to contribute to two things that are very important, so two missions that are very important and which are part of what both NATO in Kosovo and the EU, with the support of NATO, does in Bosnia, which is to reassure the population, contribute to stability, and also exercise a certain level of deterrence towards any challenge to the stability of those two countries and the region. And to that as well, we contribute. You just mentioned the strategic reserve force. Indeed, after the mission EUFOR it was reinforced back in 22. We went from collectively we went from 600 to more than 1,000 deployed military personnel. We are currently dedicating a battalion together with the Italians and the Romanians to be able to face any situation, a challenge to the stability of Bosnia should need be. This is also important to understand that this takes place in a context where many of us worry that there could be a simultaneous challenge to stability or security in Bosnia and in Kosovo. And because the two different missions I was talking about are sharing a number of assets, it's important to be able also to reinforce one or the other. And here in Bosnia, we are already present, will be present throughout the spring. And although I cannot go into details right now, I can tell you also that the French forces will be active and doing exercises in the region and make deployments in the upcoming weeks very close to Bosnia.
Again, if I may insist here, so apart from the strategic reserve force that France has already sent, is France planning to send military and soldiers in Bosnia in EUFOR mission?
Well, it's not about putting permanent personnel in Bosnia. It's about being ready from the outside and not from far away to intervene should need be. So there are assets, forces which will be ready to tackle situations if need be. As you probably know, the EUFOR Altea operation in Bosnia being an EU operation with the support of NATO, a French commander has a specific role there from NATO headquarters back in Belgium to command this operation, which is on the ground led by a Hungarian officer right now.
Mr. Vulic, how does the rhetoric from Republika Srpska leadership, namely Dodik, affect the regional stability, and what measures can be taken to ensure Bosnia and Herzegovina will remain a unified state?
Yes, the attitude, the statements by the Serbian leader in Bosnia, Dodik, are one of the preoccupations and the challenges we have identified. And indeed, as you suggest, it's about Bosnia, but it can have an impact regionally. After all, we are very aware of the fact that one of the challenges to stability in the region comes from a certain also narrative that dates back to the 90s and which is linked to Serbian nationalist forces throughout the region. And Mr. Dodik plays a lot with that. How can we answer to what he says and the situations it can trigger? Well, in Bosnia itself, the High Representative recently used the executive powers, bond powers, has been using them several times actually over a recent past. Of course, this is an answer that is not necessarily extremely helpful, because now we have finally reached a new step with Bosnia opening negotiations with the European Union, whereby we we would like to encourage the responsibility of all the public authorities in Bosnia. But I think Mr. Dodik needs to understand that his own population understand and will more and more understand the interest for them to follow the path of Bosnian integration into the Euro-Atlantic space rather than some adventure in terms of independence or joining forces with other Serbian elements, which would be contrary to all the agreements that were made since the Dayton agreements, which brought peace to Bosnia back in '95.
And you mentioned it's EUFOR Althea in Bosnia and KFOR in Kosovo, and the situation with the normalization dialogue by the EU facilitated dialogue has been stalled for the last year, and that window of opportunities seemed that didn't go anywhere so far. However, French diplomacy seems that is at work, and there are some concrete steps. For instance, there was a meeting from French President Macron and Serbian President Vulic last week in Elysee. What are the main takeaways from this meeting? What was the purpose?
Well, the main messages that were passed to the Serbian president were about the European destiny, so to speak, of Serbia, and what needs to be done to not only to be able to talk about a European path, but a future European membership of Serbia, which is the objective, which should be the objective we hope from the Belgrade authorities. There were also very clear messages about the stability in the region and the condemnation of what happened in Banjska in northern Kosovo last year, and the need to follow suit on necessity to put before to hold accountable those who led that operation, and it was also the occasion to take stock, of course, of the bilateral relationship between France and Serbia. Serbia being quite an important actor in the region, and there was also an element of messaging to the Serbian authorities, which goes with the EU integration process, to work on their on the lesser dependency of Serbia towards actors like Russia, China, and certain energy interests and dependencies, because of course the path to EU membership goes with supporting EU efforts, including internationally. It goes with respecting and promoting European values, and on all these issues there are challenges, like also in other countries in the region, but in Serbia there are aspects that can be considered as work to be done, which were certainly encouraged during the visit by President Vucic at the Elysee Palace the other day.
Does France have any concerns about Serbia acquiring advanced fighter jets, Rafale, considering the ongoing tensions with Kosovo, particularly after the incident you mentioned in the Banjska in last September?
Well, I was talking a minute ago about one of the objectives we have in terms of the future of Serbia in Europe, to reduce dependencies on other actors, including Russia. I think what I can tell you is that the strategic decision has been made to support Serbia in that direction. A number of agreements or contracts could contribute to that objective. Defense is not excluded. Now, I have seen, like you did, a very strong communication by the Serbian media on this. which I'm not in a position to tell you that it actually matches what has been said or what is going to happen. But in terms of regional stability, you can be assured that we take regional security seriously enough not to envisage anything that could damage it. And you will remember that we have already had a strategic agreement, including role-playing with Croatia, which is a close partner within NATO and the European Union. Serbia is, of course, a different story, but yes, the Serbs are interested in a positive development on that front. But there will be a need to pass to realize.
You mentioned as one of the main threats on the security level of the region, cyber attacks. Following the recent cyber attacks in Albania last year, in Montenegro, what steps can be taken to prevent similar incidents and safeguard the regional security? And if there are any lessons learned, what can France do? How is France contributing to this?
This is a very important field and topic. You alluded to it. There have been at least two important incidents, one against Albania, another against Montenegro in the recent past. And we decided together with Slovenia and Montenegro to launch and develop a regional cyber capability center, which is in Podgorica, and which will become an international organization. In 2025. The objective of it is to help the different countries in the region to develop their culture, the capacity to respond to crises, and to help them protect themselves. And it's important because this region is key to European security, is part of the future of Europe and NATO. And it is also in our interest to provide this help and ensure that security. It's a very important field in which we think there is much to be done, and we're very happy to contribute to that effort. And I just mentioned the fact that the French national strategy for the Western Balkans, which was adopted back in 2019, which is being developed, is very much focused on security issues, from organized crime to drug trafficking to light weapons, and it includes now cyber. There are lots of challenges which we share with the countries of the region and on which we can provide help. And this is also a long-standing policy of the French government, is to put at disposal of its partner in Europe and elsewhere, but in this instance, future members of the European Union, its expertise and capacities to ensure our common interests are met.
And in what consists the assistance that France is giving to the region on the cyber issue? Is it technical? Is it financial? What kind of assistance?
Well, it's a comprehensive approach. Of course, there's lots of expertise. We have developed a strong expertise in cyber, which is a top priority of the French government. So it's a lot about that. It's also about putting together partners from the European Union and the region to together assess situations, exchange ways to tackle crisis and attacks, to be able to, for example, to identify and possibly to respond to cyber attacks. So there's a wide range of actions, and we want to be part of them all.
Yeah, and lastly but not least important, what is your assessment, France's assessment on the role of Russia and its potential for destabilization in the region?
Well, Russia has been part of, she has been present in the region for a long time. And if you remember, in the 90s, actually, the West invited, in a way, Russia to participate to what was then crisis management of the EUFOR war in Bosnia, because we thought they could have a good influence on the then Serbian authorities, given historic considerations. What we see recently is how Russia has becoming through proxies, yes, a potential destabilizing factor for the region. And I want to say, to be very clear, we identify not Serbia, but Serbian nationalists, a number of Serbian nationalist forces as the allies or the potential proxies of the Russians in the region, and this is a matter of concern. Of course, it's for for the Serbs of different countries involved to understand the best interest there. But yes, we're aware of that, and we see that actors such as, for example, certain religious circles, members of the Serbian Orthodox Church, for example, can also be part of an environment that the Russians could be keen to use to their own interest. But again, we are confident that because the Serbs are a European nation and understand that will understand that they need to resist and to help us resist this malign influence and find their rightful place in when time comes in the European and Atlantic circles.
Alexandre Vulic, thank you for talking to Balkans Debrief and for sharing France's concerns, but also assistance on helping with the main security issues of the Western Balkans. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.